On a day marked by the whispering winds of July 17, 1931, a ripple of news swept across the Isle of Réunion in the Indian Ocean. It was said that Buse, the pirate of formidable renown, was to meet his end. Words flew from mouth to mouth, stirring the air with a mixture of dread and anticipation. People from all corners of the island hurried towards the sandy embrace of St. Denis Beach, where the execution was to unfold, their faces alight with a grim sort of celebration. Born into the affluence of Calais, France, Olivier Levasseur was cradled in the comforts of a well-to-do family, nurtured by the promise of a fine education. A life laid out before him could have seen him ascend to the esteemed ranks of public service, or perhaps into the polished circles of the genteel, his every step marked by the quiet assurance of good breeding. Yet it was the call of the untamed, the allure of a life stitched with the threads of adventure and danger that beckoned young Levasseur. It was as if the salt of the sea coursed through his veins by birthright, propelling him towards a destiny clad in the black of piracy. And so, Buse, as he came to be known, etched his name across the waters of the Indian Ocean, a specter that filled the hearts of many with fear. The 17th and 18th centuries unfurled as an era rampant with piracy, fueled in part by the shadowed skirmishes between England, France, Spain, and Portugal. These nations, locked in a ceaseless tussle for dominion over the seas, not only tolerated but encouraged the acts of pirates against rival fleets. This endorsement birthed a golden age for pirates, where loyalty to one's country was as fluid as the waters they roved, and fortune favored the bold. Meanwhile, the expansion of overseas colonies bridged continents, especially Europe and the newly unveiled Americas, with the seas teeming with vessels laden with treasures, plundered from distant lands. The Indian Ocean, the Atlantic, and the Pacific became stages for this grand dance of sails, where every ship bore the weight of untold riches, igniting desires as vast as the oceans themselves. By the age of 26, Levasseur had matured into a formidable swordsman, renowned for his bravery in combat and his ability to remain composed under pressure. He had secured official sanction from France to embark on a career as a pirate, pledging his allegiance to serve under the French flag in the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. Distinguished not only by his dashing looks and elegant demeanor, Levasseur was the quintessential gentleman pirate. However, driven either by the audacity of youth or some other inscrutable motive, he chose to forsake the agreement with the French government. Instead, he allied himself with English pirates Thomas Coughlin and Howell Davis, forming a formidable trio that launched surprise attacks on unsuspecting ships, striking fear into the hearts of many. The trio had a gentleman's agreement regarding the distribution of spoils. Typically, the captain's share was 6 times that of an ordinary sailor, with additional compensation awarded for injuries sustained in battle, scaled according to the severity of the wounds. Levasseur quickly earned the nickname Buse, or the Buzzard, for his boldness and agility. Like the bird of prey from which he took his name, Buse led his crew in swift, light vessels swooping down on their targets with ferocious speed. Emerging from clouds of gun smoke, they would board merchant ships, plundering their wealth and taking hostages. Any resistance from the victims was met with swift, lethal force. From 1716 to 1730, the black pirate flag adorned with a skull and crossed bones fluttered menacingly across the waves of the Indian Ocean, defiantly refusing to surrender a portion of his loot to the French government or pay any form of tribute. Buse also did not spare French vessels from his raids. As a result, the French government declared him public enemy number 1, marking him as a traitor to his nation and a menace to its ships. The pinnacle of Buse's piratical career, and the feat that cemented his notoriety far and wide, was his audacious plunder of the Portuguese ship Virgem do Cabo. This 3-masted vessel boasted 72 cabins and was laden with treasures bound for the Portuguese regent. Chests brimming with gold and silver, exquisite chalices, candlesticks, and uncut diamonds. Among the most valuable items were a jewel-encrusted sword worn by the regent at his coronation and a cross medal adorned with emeralds, rubies, and diamonds. Over his 14-year career on the high seas, Buse amassed a staggering haul of 6,000 tons of silver, 5 tons of gold, and a trove of diamonds, with an estimated worth reaching into the billions of marks. Perhaps weary of his pirate life, Buse made attempts to turn over a new leaf. On March 25, 1724, he sought pardon from the French government, submitting a written request to the authorities of the island of Bourbon, accompanied by several valuable gifts, including a golden chalice and diamonds, as tokens of his repentance. However, the French authorities could not overlook the extensive damage Buse had inflicted over the years, both financially and to their reputation. Eager to restore their own standing among the populace, they sought to bring Buse to justice, viewing his execution as a means to reassert their authority. Failing to find clemency, Buse was forced into hiding. Overnight, this once fearsome pirate seemingly vanished from the face of the earth, his final 5 years shrouded in mystery. Speculation suggests he may have sought refuge in the Seychelles, nestled between the continents of Europe and Asia, where his story quietly faded into the annals of history. Nestled north of Madagascar, the Seychelles archipelago is a pristine assembly of around 100 islands and atolls, its landscapes dominated by granite and coral reefs. For centuries, these islands have been a favored refuge for pirates, offering a bounty of fresh water and food for sustenance, alongside dense primal forests that provided the necessary timber for the repair of their battered vessels. In the early 16th century, Portuguese explorers first set foot on the Seychelles. By 1735, a map of Meiji published in Lisbon included the Seychelles, marking the island's emergence into recorded geography. Historical maps from that period depict a piece of land in the northwest of the Seychelles, owned by a man named Buse. Today, this locale is known as Bel Ombre, translating to beautiful hideaway, a testament to its allure as a secluded paradise. After spending several tranquil years in the desolate beauty of the Seychelles, Buse's restless spirit stirred once more, leading him to re-emerge in the Indian Ocean. It was in Antonguil Bay, Madagascar, where his luck finally waned. Recognized and captured, he was promptly brought to trial. On the 17th of July, 1731, following a religious tribunal's verdict, the pirate Buse faced the gallows, sentenced to death. At 5 p.m., the 40-year-old Buse met his fate, showing no sign of fear. Moments before reaching the noose, he drew a scroll of parchment from his clothing and hurled it into the crowd, bellowing, "Find my treasure if you can." The onlookers erupted into chaos, well aware that they were in the presence of Buse's treasure map. In a final act of defiance, Buse exploited humanity's greed, leaving the world in turmoil with his last breath. The mystery of Buse's treasure map, interwoven with various interpretations, continues to be preserved in the archives of Réunion, Madagascar, and the National Library of Paris. Demonstrating his education and wit, Buse employed Greek mythology as metaphors within his map, crafting a series of complex codes that confounded all who dared to decipher them, far beyond the capabilities of a mere brutish pirate. In the 200 years following Buse's death, countless individuals have lusted after his riches, attempting to unravel the enigmatic codes to no avail. Despite efforts to trace his final hiding place, rumored to be on Meiji in the Seychelles, not a single piece of his vast wealth has been found. The Seychelles underwent several changes in sovereignty, occupied by the French in 1756, taken over by the British in 1794, becoming a British colony in 1903, and finally declaring independence in 1976, to become the Republic of Seychelles, a member of the Commonwealth. Amidst these global shifts, the legend of Buse's treasure has gradually faded into obscurity. In 1920, the Savoy family, French descendants who had settled on Meiji Island in the Seychelles over 200 years prior, were reminded of a legend that had long circulated among them. The catalyst was Madame Charlotte Savoy's discovery of several oddly shaped stone pillars during a beach stroll. Could these be markers for the pirate treasure of yore? Fueled by this possibility, the Savoy family embarked on a treasure hunt, finding only human skeletons and earrings, presumably left as offerings by pirates. They also stumbled upon a copy of Buse's treasure map, yet despite their efforts, they could not decipher the cryptic symbols and codes, eventually abandoning their quest. In 1949, Madame Savoy met Reginald Campbell Cruisewell Wilkins, a 38-year-old British gemologist and adventurer who had come to the Seychelles for convalescence. Her tale drastically altered the course of his life. He embarked on a career as a professional treasure hunter, with Buse and the island dominating his joys and sorrows for the next 20 years. Cruisewell Wilkins began his quest by meticulously studying the stone markers at Belle Ombre Beach, then returning to the mainland to consult an extensive array of books, maritime logs, ancient star charts, and naturally, 17th century French and German dictionaries. This was a task demanding great endurance and imagination. After more than half a year of deep contemplation, Cruisewell Wilkins believed he had unlocked most of the secrets hidden within the arcane text. By integrating Greek mythology with celestial phenomena, he found clarity in the most perplexing aspects of the mystery surrounding Buse's treasure. With renewed confidence, Cruisewell Wilkins returned to Mayhi Island to commence the tangible efforts of excavating the treasure. The search for treasure is a test of patience and will, challenging every hunter with the daunting task of rising from the ashes of repeated failures. Cruisewell Wilkins also had to contend with the relentless encroachment of the tides. Eventually, their efforts unearthed headless statues, 17th century pistols, various artifacts, and rocks inscribed with letters that largely matched those on Buse's treasure map, providing a significant morale boost. However, subsequent endeavors yielded nothing but disappointment. An excavated cavern held no treasures, leaving their spirits dampened. In 1970, beneath the site where Cruisewell Wilkins predicted the pirates' treasure lay, a proton magnetometer detected a substantial metallic mass 10 meters underground, weighing around 16 kilograms. But hopes were quickly dashed when they unearthed nothing more than a pile of worthless scrap metal. By 1977, Cruisewell Wilkins passed away, the elusive pirate treasure still undiscovered, likely leaving this world with profound regret. His son, John, continued the quest with financial backing from an American millionaire. Yet to this day, no substantial progress has been made. Some speculate that Buse's parchment was a deliberate ruse, designed to lead treasure hunters astray. If so, the decades of effort by Cruisewell Wilkins and his son would have been in vain. Where then does Buse's treasure lie? Do the enticing rubies, emeralds, and the diamond-decorated cross medal still rest undisturbed in a Seychelles cave? For the Seychelles, the greatest benefit has been the boom in tourism, drawing countless visitors to the island with the hope of witnessing the hunt, or perhaps trying their luck. Amidst the lush flora and scenic beauty, the island offers a pleasing retreat. And who knows, in the simple act of stepping or glancing down, one might stumble upon a discovery that could change everything.